So I would say, just theoretically, Jason Statham plays Jason Statham in just about everything. And that's what we want to see as Jason Statham fans. And my only question would be, what happens when you've done such bad things that the guilt overwhelms you? And then at some point, you have to bring that bad person back out. And at that point, I would say nobody's safe from Jason Statham.
Previously on the Nerdy Ronin Network.
Hey, Squeaky, you know what? Let me tell you, she's got some really nice, bowling fingers. You know what I'm saying?
Happy hump day. That's right. We're back. The second day of Jason Statham week. You guys, I know you guys have been waiting so patiently. And unfortunately, I do have some bad news about Jason Statham, but we'll get into it. Don't you worry. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. What are you thinking? Hit that little button, hit that bell. Help us out here. In the description box down below are things that we love, links. They're all there, including some coupon codes to save you some of your hard earned money. So check it out, please. All right, let's get right into this. Now, as I said Monday, I'm looking for Jason Statham movies that are not as well known, right? And they're, because some of that is his best work, in my opinion. So let's look at it. We're looking at Safe today from 2012, rated R, hour and 34 minutes. Directed and written by Boaz Yakin, who has done some really good things and then done some things that I would say are just plain weird. Starring Jason Statham, Catherine Chan, Chris Sarandon. There's quite a few people you'll recognize in this movie. May, a young girl whose memory holds a priceless numerical code, finds herself pursued by the Triads, the Russian mob, and corrupt New York City cops. Coming to her aid is an ex-cage fighter whose life was destroyed by some of the gangsters on May's trail. Now, that overall is a pretty solid synopsis. Now, I mean, it's not great, it's not perfect, because this movie is an onion, like a really large onion that has many layers involved. And you have to peel different layers away to find out what's really going on. But the overall story is Jason Statham's character is about to check out by his own hand. And he sees these mobsters chasing this little girl, which causes a switch to go off in his head. And he brings old Statham from back in the day out to play to protect a little girl that he has no idea who she is and no reason to protect, theoretically speaking. So, this little girl has been taken from her home because she happens to be a genius. She has a photographic memory, and with math, like you give her numbers and she just understands numbers. So she was taken from her home, brought to America to work for the mob, so they didn't have to put things on a computer. They just have her remember it. Like, so one person, they get a passport and says they're her dad, and they just go around through the triad businesses, and she keeps track of all the money, etc., etc. She is given this very long number to remember by the leader of the triads. And she's going to be taken to another place where she's given a second code. And this has to do with opening one safe. One number opens one safe, another number opens another safe, and there's an exchange to be made. Well, things happen, and she escapes. Well, then you've got the corrupt cops, the Russian mafia, and the triads all trying to hunt her down. And the only thing standing in their way is Jason Statham, who is an ex-cage fighter, but he's also an ex-cop. And the funny thing is everybody's heard he at one time was a garbage man. So that's their presumption, that he's a nobody. But actually, he was the man that took out the trash. So he was basically an assassin. Right? I mean, who could have seen that coming? It's Jason Statham movie, right? I gotta say right now, this movie, although it's a little dark color wise, not to, I mean, color wise alone is what I'm talking about. It is extremely well shot. There is some really great angle work in this and cinematography and some choices the director made to film certain things that are just beautifully done. And it's so weird. This is just an action movie, right? But the care put into some of these scenes and some of these shots, the camera angles, is just, I mean, brilliant. I mean, you got to be really paying attention to see it, but when you see it, like, you know, just by looking, that's something special. The storyline is silly, fun, like as far as action movies go, fantastic. There are huge stakes involved. Everybody's a bad guy. Even the people you would consider to be the good guys, they end up, some of them are bad guys. You know, this is a movie full of anti-heroes. And Jason Statham is not necessarily a bad guy, but he's definitely broken. And he's not necessarily a good guy, but he has a code, a moral code, if you will, which causes him to move the story forward with a great ballet of violence. The fight scenes are fantastic. They're really well done. Even the car, like the chases and things, like the stunts in this movie, top tier. Really well done. And considering this movie's not super well known, at an hour and 34 minutes, like it's there's no fat here. It's all meat. And the story works. I'm really sad that this movie doesn't have more love. Now, I had, now, to be fair, I had seen it before a long, long time ago, probably about the time it came out. I didn't remember. This is just such a great. It's Jason. It's pure Jason Statham delightfulness, right? But it's so well done on so many different levels, and the story, which looks simple to begin with, is way more complicated. And as I said earlier, you have to peel back the layers. And so every step along the way, you learn more and you find out more, and it gets complex by the end of it. And Jason Statham makes simple work of a complex story. Is it like, have you heard of this movie? Have you seen this movie? If not, you need to fix that. It's on Freevee. It's on Plex. It's on quite a few. I think I watched it on Prime because I don't remember there being a whole bunch of commercials. But overall, fantastic. There's just something good about it. That, I mean, it's a really entertaining movie with great acting, good characters, good world building, and it all makes sense in the world they've created and the box they've put it in. It all goes together perfectly. Jason Statham does a great job playing Jason Statham. Now, unfortunately, he's busy today. He couldn't make it. Maybe Friday, hopefully. But, I mean, he's a busy dude, busy guy. All right. I'm going to get out of here, and we will be back on Friday. And I'm not sure which movie we're talking about, but you can be for sure it will have Jason Statham in it. For Michael, the microphone, Bob, squeaky chair in the back, and this big fat nerd, we will see you then.